much time on my phone, and I definitely see a big difference in my mental health when I'm spending time on my phone versus taking breaks from it. So I think I need to get re-inspired and back into my better habits of not being on my phone so much and choosing my hobbies rather than sitting on my phone. I have been doing a lot of different hobbies lately that I love, but I definitely want to dedicate more time to them because I just feel like I can see such a difference. I'm so much happier and excited and like have fun things to talk about when I'm working on my hobbies. And this time of year especially is such a weird in-between. End of summer, almost fall. What do you do? It's hot outside, but you want to be cozy. I just feel like hobbies are the answer to that. And especially in fall, I love doing my hobbies. So it just feels like a really good time to get back into them, really focus on them, and have fun. I think there's so many different benefits to having hobbies. Not only do I feel like the hobbies are really good for me because they get me off of my phone, but I feel like there's so many other benefits too. Like a lot of them, when I do them before I go to bed at night, I feel like I sleep better. It's a fun bonding thing. Like I feel like it gives you something to talk about with other people and just kind of makes you an interesting person too. You really have like a lot more things that you can talk about, share with people, and I just think it is such a good thing to have hobbies. Now, a lot of my hobbies are very cozy indoors because I'm kind of that type of person of I don't really like going out that much. I like to be home. But of course, there's other hobbies that are great for people that love going out and being outside, active, that type of thing. So don't feel like you have to limit yourself to these types of hobbies because they might not be your thing. But just in general, I feel like hobbies are just so good. They make you a better person all around. And I definitely recommend finding ones that you love and feel like you just want to spend all your time doing. One of the hobbies that I've loved ever since I was a kid is reading, and I've read so many books recently that I've loved and definitely recommend. So I wanted to go through those first. And I've also been lending out a lot of my books. I don't have a lot of them actually here. The most recent book that I read was The Someday Garden. I got out my Kindle and then ended up buying the actual physical book too because I liked it a lot and just thought it'd be a cute one to have on my bookshelf. I really want to get more books up on there and have it completely full of them. But that's the most recent one that I did. I feel like I go off and on reading a bunch on my Kindle versus reading a bunch of physical books. It really just depends on how quickly I can get the book. Like if I finish something and want to read the next one, then I'll just get on my Kindle. But that's the most recent one that I read. I had really high hopes for it because I loved The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston. And this one is by the same author. So I thought I was going to really, really, really love it. And I just liked it like a regular book. I feel like my problem with The Someday Garden was I just couldn't help comparing it to The 7-Year Slip, which is probably my top favorite book. Like not counting any books I read when I was younger, that's my favorite book. So I had really high hopes for it, and I just felt like it was very similar to The 7-Year Slip in ways that I necessarily didn't want it to be. Like it almost felt like I was reading 7-Year Slip, but it just wasn't as good. So that was disappointing. It had a lot of just similar things and stuff. But I still did really like it, and it's motivating me to read The Dead Romantics, which is one by her as well, and I feel like that would be a good fall one. I have it on my Kindle as well. I just don't love having all my books on my Kindle because I forget that I read them. So on here I have The Spells Love. I don't remember if I read that or not. The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches, loved that one. A Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping, loved that one. I can't remember if I read The Grimoire Grammar School or The Spells Love, but I might have to try those ones out because I actually have a good bit downloaded on here that I could read. So that's actually really exciting. And then from my physical library, I recently read Nothing Like the Movies, which is the sequel to Better Than the Movies. It's very, very cute, and I think that they're making either like a movie or show or something of Better Than the Movies, but I could be wrong. I just saw something that was like, oh, can't believe he's playing Wes Bennett, and I thought I recognized it from his name, but I could be wrong. And then currently reading Ellen Hildebrand's The 5-Star Weekend. I'm about this far into it, and my goal would be to finish it very soon. Like if I was ambitious, it would be the next couple of days. We'll see. But I have a trip coming up that I'm trying to collect a lot of books for, and honestly I'm really happy that I have a lot on my Kindle because then I can just pack this and maybe one other book and I'll be set. And then if I find any that I want to download, I can get them on here. But I have a couple books on my TBR, so we're going book shopping. I'm gonna see if I find any of them there, and hopefully I'll pick up some. I just got to the bookstore. Me, Maddie, Sid, and my mom are all here, and we're ready to just wander and shop. I do have my eyes out for one book, and I think it's called Save the Date. It's one that Haley Pham recommended, and she gave it 5 stars. So I'm gonna keep my eye out for that and potentially pick that up, but also I just kind of like to do a little recon, take photos of ones that I want to add to my TBR, add some into my notes app, and like build my wish list in my head. I don't love to have a bunch of physical books as my TBR because my thoughts change. Like I don't always end up wanting to read ones that I buy, so I try to keep it pretty minimal and don't like buy a bunch of them and then have them just sit on my shelf. So yeah, besides that one, I don't really have my thoughts on the other ones. Sometimes for fun when I'm going to a bookstore, I bring cash because girl math, then it's free, and I feel even better about buying a book because sometimes I just feel like, oh, I should have looked at the library or downloaded it on my Kindle or something, but I want to fill up my bookshelf really badly, so I need to buy more physical books. It just makes sense that way. Okay, let's go inside. I'm so excited to wander. The girls told me to get this book because they said that the movie was good. None of you read this yet, though, right?
Have not read it.
You just saw the movie?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited. It's a little out of my comfort zone, but I think that I'll like it. And also the cover is just really fun. Maddie, what book were you going to get?
The Good Parts.
Oh,
It was hardcover.
Yeah, we share that hatred for hardcovers, definitely. And then, Mom, if you want to just pop in and show what you got.
The House in the Cerulean Sea.
Yes, and she has a time crunch to read it because I want to read it next.
I will have it done in time.
Yes, it's your assignment. page 158 of my book. So almost halfway through it, and I'm really, really loving it. I have only read one other Ellen Hildebrand book, and I liked it a lot, but I did feel it was a little slow. It was The Hotel Nantucket. This one, I feel like her writing style is so good to keep you kind of locked in. Like, every time I was like, maybe I'll set the book down, I'd read the next little bit, and it would remind me of something I was kind of curious about, and I was like, ooh, I want to keep reading and see if I get more answers about that. She just kind of like reels you in so many different ways, but nothing like too suspenseful. It's more almost gossipy, like you kind of just know something's going on, you know? I really, really like it, and there's just so many different storylines to follow. I like that it isn't split up by each person. I feel like I don't always love when a book is like Jack and then the next chapter Hollis, that type of thing. Those are just random names from this book. But this one's more of like they're all sitting at a table and you get to hear what's in each woman's head right at the moment, what they're thinking about. And like one of them is thinking about silly things and she's self-conscious, and one of them has more important things that she's stressed about, and then one of them has like not really caring the world. So I think it's really, really interesting, and I'm enjoying it a lot. I'm curious to see like what else happens, and I definitely don't want to put it down, but I do want to get to some of my other hobbies. So that is a catch right now. I'm really in the mood for a coffee, and I was debating if I should make one at home, which is another one of my favorite hobbies, is make my coffee at home, or if I should go to a Dunkin', which that is sounding better to me right now. And I think the main reason is because I'm out of cookie butter. So like cookie butter latte sounds really good, but I don't have the cookie butter here. So then I would have to make like salted maple, which is yummy, but I think I'd just rather a Dunkin'. So I'm gonna get a Dunkin' and then get into my next hobby, which is one of my favorites. So it's also like the perfect rainy day, and maybe I just want to be in the car for it. Like maybe that's the reason I want to go to Dunkin', is so that I can be in the car in the rainy vibes, because that's one of my favorites too. I've been wanting to sit on my porch more when it's raining, but today it was flooded, so I need to figure that out. I think something in like the roof part was dripping, so I couldn't go out there, which I was sad. Anyways, let's go get a coffee.
I turned off my Bluetooth, so I shouldn't be connected. Okay, I'm trying to decide if I want butter pecan or peanut butter. Honestly, I think I definitely want butter pecan, because yesterday we got Dunkin' and I wanted a butter pecan. They actually gave me peanut butter, so I feel like I still need to get that butter pecan. Something I haven't done in a while is gotten the butter pecan blueberry, and that's kind of intriguing me. Should I do that?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it. Throwing it back to my OG drink. I used to get an iced coffee with butter pecan and blueberry extra ice, like every single day that I went to Dunkin', that's what I got. And then when they started making the Dunkin' latte, I got addicted to that, because it's just kind of like a sweeter version, and I love it. Oh, I'm excited. I haven't had this combo in a while. But yeah, the Dunkin' latte is just so much sweeter, and I really love it. I want to try to make it at home, and I looked up, and you need to make like a coffee syrup that you put in the milk. But I'm curious how they make the milk creamy, because it just like tastes different than plain milk. So I want to figure out how to make that, definitely. And then that would save me a lot of money, because I didn't realize the Dunkin' lattes are getting really expensive.
How much are they?
When we were here yesterday, I think it was like $6.67. Yeah, I don't usually branch out very far from the coffee drinks at Dunkin'. I feel like that's all I get is coffee at Dunkin'. So my plan is to do this and then get into the needlepoint zone, which is going to be really fun.
I keep forgetting to put a koozie in my car, but I just have them in this bin along with random stuff for my like dining table. I'm trying to decide what koozie, probably this one for today. Okay, taste test time. I think it's gonna be really good. Anytime I switch up my order for a day, I feel like it tastes so good. It's like something fresh. Yeah, that's really good. And they got it all right. The only thing is, whenever I do butter pecan and blueberry, I feel like they do less butter pecan than blueberry, and I want it to be the other way around. They put 3 shots of blueberry and 1 of butter pecan. I didn't say how many I wanted, but still is really good. I want to start doing where I try different Dunkin' orders though. So let me know your favorite Dunkin' order, because I need to branch out a little bit. I've been getting almost the same thing for like a couple years now, and it is really good. Okay, I went to the needlepoint store, so I have a haul. Needlepointing is one of my favorite hobbies. I feel like every hobby has its pros and cons. Like reading is really great whenever I have a book I'm really into, but it can get annoying when I'm waiting to like find a book, or just like can't really get into my book, or don't have time to sit down and read, you know. Versus needlepointing is a lot more mindless. Once you have the canvas and you have all the threads, you can work on that for like a couple months and you're set. You don't really have to think too much about it, especially if you're not doing any like decorative stitches or anything. So I have a lot of different canvases I'm working on right now. So I'm gonna show you these before I get into what I bought at the needlepoint store. All of these were ones that I was waiting to go shopping because I couldn't do anything else for them until I got more threads, which is crazy. But the first one is this little granny. These are called Stitch It Angels, and they're one of my favorites. You're supposed to finish them into little like ornaments or something and then put ribbon on the back to make their angel wings, which I think is adorable. I've only finished one so far and I made it into like a little bag tag, but I didn't put any wings on her. So this one I had actually a ton of fun with and kind of branched out more, where I did little curly hair knots. I think that's so adorable. And then I also messed around with different stitches to make the yarn look more like a little yarn ball. I gave her golden little knitting needles, and then I decided not to do the glasses because I did them and they didn't look quite right. So I have her that I'm working on right now. I got this Tampa sweatshirt I'm working on right now. All I have left is the outlines and then the letters. Another thing I really like about needlepoint is there's just so many steps to it. So once I'm even finished doing all the colored areas, then I'm gonna have to do a border on it too. So it just kind of is a type of project that keeps going, which I really like, especially because of how pricey it is. I'm glad that it's time consuming. If I could do this in an hour, it would not be worth the price, definitely. And this is a canvas that my dad got made for me for Christmas. I love it so much, and I'm excited because I finally got the threads for it and I can start it. And then this one also came in the mail. So cute. I pre-ordered this. My vision is to maybe do all the bows in like the velvet thread. I think that could be a cool texture to add to it. And then I think I want to do a cool background stitch for this one and put it in a frame. Another reason I love needlepoint is there's just so many options for it. Like I'll probably frame this one for like some Christmas decorations. Probably frame this one also to put in one of my rooms. This will become a little like bag tag or ornament. And then this one will probably become an ornament that I can put on my tree. So it's just kind of fun that they not only can be like anything you want them to be, but you also can use them, which is really nice. Decoration, things like that. This I got for my next trip. I think it's gonna be so fun to stitch while I'm there. It's a little lobster in a flag shirt. So adorable. I got it a while ago and finally got threads for it. And then this one I'm actually going to turn into a magnet for a fridge. So literally so fun. I feel like that is the cool part, is that you can just be creative in so many different ways, and then mindless in a lot of other ways of like, I just stitched this and didn't really have to think much about it. So those are my current little ones that I have going on. I also have one that says no dogs on this bed. These are the ones that I had together for shopping. In my opinion, I also think needlepoint is great for anyone that's kind of like type A and loves being organized, because a big part of it is people get these little pouches and they put their project in its own little pouch with all of the things that they'll need for it, which I just think is so cute. So I also have this no dogs on this bed thing that I'm gonna turn into a pillow, and I got the white for it. Finally, I ran out and I'm hoping that it'll look good. We'll see if I got the right white. And then I also have my jam jar, which I absolutely love this one. And I'm at a standstill with it only because I can't decide if I wanna make it into something that I frame somewhere in my house. And that would mean that then I would make like a little box border around it, or if I want to turn it into an ornament or a door hanger. And then if that were the case, I'd only do about 3 stitches around it. And I also have to decide what color to make the background, because as you can see, the like dark color is already on a border here, this color's here, this color is there again, white, like every color is touching all of the edges. So like I almost need to pick a totally different color to be the background so that everything pops, or potentially this blue in the back. But like if I do white, this gingham will blend. I don't know if that makes sense. So I'm kind of at a standstill because I can't really decide what to do for that. I'm at a standstill for this project too, because I need these stretcher bars that are on the gingham little jar one so that I can put this one on stretcher bars. I didn't want to buy whole new ones because, you know, I can just use those ones when I'm done. But I do have all of the threads in here for this, and this will become a little eye mask. So adorable. I love it. I think it's just so fun. Everything's so like aesthetic and cutesy. And one of the reasons why I started liking this more than crochet is because it starts out cute. You know, when you're crocheting, it's like it's just a ball of yarn, which is cool in itself in a different way. But this is kind of like fun and aesthetic all the way through. It looks cute, you know, the entire time that you're working on it. It's also fun because once you're done actually stitching them, you can do the finishing yourself if you want. I've tried to do that a couple times. It just really is hard on my hands. I don't know if I'm just trying to do it too tight, but it's not my favorite thing to do. So I have a couple at a finisher right now, and I really am hoping one of my siblings will learn how to do it so that I can just send it to them to finish for me, because it's really expensive and takes like, I think like 3 to 6 months for a lot of places because they're backed up, because it's all hand done. So if I could convince one of my siblings, hint, to learn how to finish, then I could pay them when I pay a regular finisher, but hopefully I'd be their only client and they could get it done a lot faster, like in a month or something, which would be amazing. So that is my goal. Hint, hint, to any of my siblings watching. But yeah, let me get into this haul. The major con to needlepointing is the price, but it is because everything's like really good materials and the canvases are hand painted for the most part. I think only one of the ones that I have isn't hand painted, but that just really jacks the price up. So I think all the ones I have are anywhere between like $30 and $100. And then this little bag, I'll let you have a chance to guess how much you think it was. I think it was like $120. Crazy. But it's because all the fibers and stuff are good quality. First things I got are these 2 little stretcher bars. I thought they would be good for my lobster. And they're little thin ones. So I think that will be really nice instead of having something bulky on this, because I do plan to bring it on a trip. I think that will be a lot nicer for it. And then I just got a ton of different thread. It's shocking that this is $100, but it's all really good. Like, I think these are silk and merino wool blend, so it's like good quality. I had to ask the guy that works there if I was getting the right ones and stuff because I was nervous. Okay, but I got all of these different colors. I needed different ones to use for like skin tones and then also for my ice cream cone. So just kind of like a little mix of different things. More of the white for the dog bed, or the no dogs on this bed. And then this for the peach that I have. And then I got an assortment of ones to just kind of fill in the gaps of those projects that I'm working on. And I tried to pick colors that I can use for a couple of them. Like this blue will be used in a lot of those that I showed. And yeah, kind of a very fall palette that I have going on. I didn't even realize that. That's what I got for $120. It's crazy. But again, I don't think I'll need to go to the needlepoint store now for like 4 months if I could wait that long. Like I wouldn't need to go, which is really nice. I could work on all of these and finish all of these with what I have in this bag, which honestly is like kind of impressive. What's kind of my pros and cons to needlepoint if you're thinking about starting it? Those are my thoughts on it. There's definitely easier ways to get in on it. Like I would definitely recommend getting a Stitched Angel first. I think they're about $30 and they're easy. You can play around with different stitches if you want, and you could get DMC thread from like literally Hobby Lobby, Michaels. Their pearl one is a really good one, but also you could use literally regular DMC. That's what I used for my very first Stitched Angel, and I thought she turned out perfect. I didn't really see that much of a difference between that and all of my other expensive threads. Now I feel like I notice a difference and I'm just more particular, but in the beginning it really didn't mind. For the most part, I also try to use colors that I already have. So like I already had this color because it's the backdrop of my Surfer Snooze, and so that's kind of what made me want to pick it for it. I just feel like it's so fun, and there's definitely ways to make it more affordable if that's what you're hung up on not wanting to start it. But also I think it's so nice to invest in your hobbies, and I never like make myself feel bad when I'm spending a lot of money on my hobbies because they make me so happy and I love doing them. So I think I am actually going to work on my little hobby grandma and get some progress on her. And then I do need to kind of kit these. I bought some new little project bags, so I'm gonna split them up and put them in their project bags so I can decide what's coming with me on my trip. And I also need to put the lobster on stretcher bars. So kind of a little to-do list with this hobby, which is fun. I feel like it's a good mix. Like reading, you just grab your book, you sit down, you're set. You don't need anything else. You don't need to think about much. Versus needlepoint, you can have this fun little setting up time, which I really like. And then once they're set up, you just grab your little project bag, you're good to go. You don't have to think too much about it. So yeah, as you can tell, I love all of my hobbies and all for different reasons. This one is definitely becoming pretty consuming. A lot of times I like to work on the floor. I feel like it's easier and then I can spread everything out. I have these little bags that I'm going to put my new threads in and then organize all of my canvases and put them in their own little bags. I got this pack of bags, I think for $10 at Target, and they just have a bunch of different colors, so I felt like that would be a good way to separate out some of my projects and see what I want to bring for my trip. Okay, I feel so productive now and I want to show you guys my progress. So I just put all my little projects in their bags. These are things that I don't have any threads for, but I don't plan to shop anytime too soon just because like I'm not working on them right now. This is my jam drawer that I need to decide on the background for. This is my new Christmas tree, and then I have one thread so far for it. I need to go get the greens, but again, not working on that one anytime soon. My surfer sneeze, moved it to this one. Just felt like it was a good bag for it. I put in my white threads into here so that I can use it. And then Matt actually surprised me and bought me this project bag. It's a Very Hungry Caterpillar one. So cute. Here I put my Peaches and Cream little one because I felt like that was cute to go along with the Very Hungry Caterpillar. Like, I think he does eat through an ice cream cone and stuff, so I felt like that was really fitting and adorable. And then lastly, my Tampa sweatshirt, which I will have to decide on a background for, but for now I just put the green in there that I'm using. So this is kind of just all of my random projects. I'm gonna put all these in my craft room. I need to get another magazine holder that I can put these in because I have one next to me, but I don't think all these will fit. Do need to do that. And then for my current projects, I just loaded up my needlepoint bag, have my little Stitch Angel on here, and I used my favorite project bag, which is this one that says Stitches. I like that this one's clear. And I put my lobster and my butter in here because they're the ones I'm planning to do for my trip. I also realized that I have a project that I could finish really quick. Yet another type of needlepoint finishing that you can do. And it's a luggage tag. This is considered one that's like a self-finisher. So I think I literally just cut out this and stick it in here. So I'm gonna try to do that really quick. I'm intimidated. I feel like anytime you're cutting a needlepoint project, it's intimidating because you think of all the time and money that you put into it, but this should be pretty easy, I think. Yeah, it just has like an adhesive. I'm gonna look up how I do this before I mess it up because I'm nervous. Okay, I looked up a tutorial on this and it's actually way easier than I thought. You literally just cut it out a couple rows away from where you stitched. I feel like this is such a good starter one. After you do the Stitch Angel, you could do this. Honestly, this is probably easier than the Stitch Angel because you finish it yourself so easily. Am I nervous? Yes, I am. But this would be so fun to have. This is so nerve-wracking. That's adorable. Oh my gosh, I love it so much. The only thing is I didn't really realize that it wouldn't have anything protecting over it. So maybe I'll just put this on my like carry-on type bags and stuff so it doesn't get ruined. It's so cute. Wow, I love it. I already want to make another. I'm gonna keep this extra a little bit in case I want to make anything with it. I talked about this in my last YouTube video, but the next hobby that I've been obsessed with is puzzles, and potentially I would say that this is my favorite hobby. Maybe I would say that. I like that I could combine it if I wanted to with reading by listening to an audiobook, and it also is just so affordable. I feel like similar to reading, like you buy a book and then you can read it for a while, but sometimes I binge read and I'll read it in a day. So then I bought the book, it was $10 and it's gone in a day. Versus the puzzles, I feel like they're usually about $10 and then they last a long time. Especially I've been doing a 1,000-piece one this time and it's lasted me a long time. Versus I think I did a 500-piece one in like a weekend. But yeah, I'm just loving it. I feel like it's so fun to look for different ones when I go to the store and stuff. Right now I'm doing this cute fall one. Kind of gives the vibes it's like New York or something. And I especially liked it because there's a little dog walking on it. This one's kind of hard because it has lots of little speckles and like a lot of the lines are blurred a little bit. So it's taking me a bit. I've done the border and then I did the door. I usually just try to find the most obvious shapes in it and work on those, or like the colors that stand out the most. But yeah, I've just been loving this. I feel like it's a good mix of mindless and also problem solving. It's satisfying to get it finished and it's definitely addicting. I love that I can just keep it on my dining table and work on it randomly. I just feel like it's so fun. And I love when you're near the end of a puzzle and you're in a groove and just finding a bunch of pieces. So yeah, overall, I've been loving this as a hobby, and I think I'm gonna make some tea and then lock in for a little bit because I would love a little refresh. Actually really curious how different people do puzzles, like what your method is, so please let me know your method because I feel like mine is a little all over the place. Like I kind of just go for random things that I notice the most. So like I started with the green door and I'm pulling the pieces for the floor, but I also pulled pieces for this house. But I feel like what I should do next is like find all the pieces for the dog and the man, maybe get those in. And then this other door. Maybe I'll do this other door next. Because why would I tackle the floor first? Like, it just seems really hard. And if I have these little pieces, that will kind of give me a baseline of where to put it. Also, the more I look at it, the more I notice little things, like how many birds are on the tree and stuff. I heavily do puzzles looking at the photo. I don't know if everyone does that, but like if I didn't have the example, I probably couldn't find a single piece to put together. So I definitely used that as my like thing. And sometimes I'll even pick up a piece and try to look and find out exactly where it goes rather than like making it fit into what I have, if that makes sense. But yeah, leave it to me to overthink a puzzle that's supposed to be relaxing. But that's just kind of my thoughts with it. I think I'm gonna go for that door though, because I'm already noticing a lot of the pieces and it's a color that really stands out. For the week, and it has been the most perfect gloomy cozy weather, so obviously that put me in the mood to crochet, which I haven't done in so long. I think literally a year now. I started needlepointing and that just took over. So I have this bag that I've been putting everything in, and I have a cute little needlepoint charm on it, and so this is kind of my hobby bag for the trip. But the main thing that I'm crocheting is this giant blanket, and I'm trying to finish it. It's like perfect soft cottony thread or yarn. See, I'm literally in a needlepoint mindset. And I only have this much of each of them. So I think when these are done, I'm going to finish the blanket. And I'll show you guys how big it is once I'm done with them. But I love crochet, and I forget that all the time because it's just so simple. You get yarn, which is so much cheaper than a lot of the other hobbies, and you can make something out of nothing. So I have this blanket that I'm working on. I've just been doing it half double crochet, which is my favorite stitch, and row by row switching colors. It's so perfect and cozy. So I'm gonna keep working on this today. Obviously I always like to kind of jump around projects, so I also packed this one for this trip, but I don't know if I'll get to it because I really am determined to finish my blanket. But it's gonna be a little hat. You have to see the vision, you know? And honestly, I have a trip coming up that this would be really cute for. So maybe I have to work to finish it really quick. But unfortunately, I don't really remember how I was doing it. Half double crochet a couple times in chain or something. I don't know. I also think I was carrying the thread throughout. Yeah. So I'm gonna have to kind of mess around and figure out what I was doing for this. But I do think it's really cool and different. I was trying to make this last year for my Alaska trip and then didn't end up finishing it. But I'm kind of running low on the yarn for it. Either way, I do think I'll tackle it if I get this done. And then the other thing that I've been loving, and I just thought of it just because it's in my bag, but I got this book, Murder Among the Stacks, and it's a murder mystery that you solve yourself through word puzzles, which is so cool. So you read a little chapter, then you do the word puzzle, and it'll kind of give you like a clue, I think. Some of it, yeah, what cozy clues and fresh beginnings can you find hidden in this puzzle? So I think this is gonna be really, really fun. I specifically brought this to work on too. And yeah, I love all of my hobbies and stuff. I feel like they're my perfect way to wind down. They keep my mind busy, like, and not let me kind of spiral. I feel like This time of year is a very high anxiety time for me with like work, that type of stuff. So it is really good for me to have these like little mental health breaks, little things that I do for myself, and give me a little fresh start, because I definitely was spiraling today, really stressed, because whenever I come home, that means I just have a lot of all-in stuff to do at the warehouse, and I'm just filming a bunch, and like there's just always something that I need to do when I'm here, versus like I kind of don't really know what needs to be done when I'm not at the warehouse. It's like I have to be in the warehouse looking around, and I notice like, oh, this thing says it's out of stock online, but I have a bunch right here, or we never actually launched this thing or something like that. So it's been like a cycle of me going there, adding stuff to my to-do list, checking things off, adding more things. And so I definitely really could use this break. Anyways, I'm gonna sit here and get extra cozy. The fun thing about crocheting a blanket is you get to use the blanket while you're crocheting it. And that's kind of what inspired the like size that I was making this. It's kind of a one person, I would say, size, which is nice for a little throw. I'm gonna keep it on my couch all the time, and it's just really, really comfy, but it fits perfectly on my lap while I'm sitting working on it. So I just got the yarn from Hobby Lobby, and it's 100% cotton one. It's my favorite, and I think the colors are so cute too. So I'm gonna see, I have about like 30 minutes. I'm gonna see how much I can get done. And yeah, if you have a fun little crochet project, now is the time to break it out while you're watching this video and get some of the work done on it, because it also feels like kind of productive to crochet to me, just because you can see like your progress, how far you've come, and it's definitely addicting. Once I start, I'm like, I remember why I liked this so much. Let's lock in. I'm traveling, I always switch out my scissors for nail cutters, because I don't think you can bring scissors through like TSA or anything. I'm always scared they're gonna confiscate mine, so I always switch it out because it works just as well. And that way I don't have to be worried about them taking them. It's also funny because I realized that this is the blanket I was working on in my very first hobbies video. That's how long it's taken me. It's definitely been one that I kind of like pick up, stop, pick up, stop. I've debated how long I want it to be too, so I thought I finished it before, and then decided that I actually wanted to make it bigger. So I think now it'll be maybe about my height. I don't know. When I'm done with this little crochet session, I think I'm gonna hold it up and see how big it is, because that will also determine whether I'm gonna go buy more yarn for it and keep working on it, or if I'm just gonna finally finish it off. Projects that are on my radar to work on next when I finally finish this blanket and that hat. The first one is this really cute house crochet pillowcase that I saw. I think it matches my vibe so much and would be so adorable. And then the next thing that I really want to make is a striped beanie. I did really want to make it like soon so I could start wearing it, but I need to get the thread for it, and I also need to find a pattern, because for the beanie that I'm working on, I just was going off the vibes, but I don't know if it'll fit me well or anything like that. So I want to find a good pattern for a good striped beanie. And then I also really want to make another blanket, but this time with the kind of like the granny square pattern. But I think that would just be so cute with a bunch of different colors and something that I keep out all the time. I've also seen one, I'll have to look for an inspo photo of it, that looks almost like a quilted vibe, but it's crocheted. So it's like the triangle is almost quilted. I think that one's so adorable. I would love to make a bunch of different blankets to have around my house and for when guests are over and stuff. And then I also, of course, want to make more headbands. I feel like this time of year, I always start breaking out the crochet headbands, which are one of my favorite things to make, because you can do it kind of in one sitting if you really are determined. And I just love a project that you can finish up really quickly. And then the last thing is a laptop case Specifically, I would love to make one for my new iPad because I just am so scared when I put it in my bag that it's going to get ruined or something. So I would love to make a little protective case for it, similar to my Kindle case that I made. That's an envelope. It's so adorable and definitely one of my favorite crochet projects I've ever done because that one was so satisfying. It was all one thing. I don't know if that makes sense. Like, you didn't have to connect any of the parts or anything, which made it really satisfying to make and really quick to make too. So yeah, those are some of the things that I kind of have on my crochet stitch list. I don't know what you would call it really, that I kind of want to do next because I am definitely getting back into it and I'm reminded of why I love it so much. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It definitely was a fun one for me because I got to do all of my favorite things and share them with you guys. Hopefully you found some inspo, and please let me know if there's any hobbies that you think I would really like. I'm trying to think right now if there's anything that I've been wanting to try. I learned how to bedazzle, which that is really addicting and so fun. I was bedazzling like a sunny angel. You can do anything though. People will do like books and makeup products and stuff, which I think is so fun. Can't think if there's anything else that I've been wanting to do. I definitely would love to learn how to make the patches that Sid makes for her sweatshirts and stuff. I think that would be a really fun thing to learn how to do. She taught me how to sew something once, but it definitely didn't stick. Like, I wouldn't be able to do it right now if I tried. Yeah, not that I need more hobbies, but I'm always kind of on the hunt for them. So if you have any that you recommend or want me to try out, definitely let me know. And I hope you found some inspo for yourself for hobbies and stuff. I think this is just the perfect time of year to try out a new hobby or to really put your time into a hobby that you know that you love. And it's just such a good use of your time. I feel like anytime I find myself just on my phone too much or just doing too many other things, I always know I'll feel refreshed when I go back to my hobbies and spend some time alone and working on them and stuff. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and I'll see you next week.